I just want to make a little bit of an update on the Delhi gang rape case that took place at the end of last year, and which is still an issue that's very controversial in India. Not just that one case, but violence against women in general, sexual violence against women in general. India is one of the world's worst countries for attacks on women, and that's not insulting to say so, it's simply a fact. But I'd just like to address something I've just seen in the Independent newspaper, and I'll put a link in the description. One of the accused of that gang rape, one of the youngest of the accused, says, "I am a student, I'm not a killer." He is still insisting that he's innocent. Vinay Sharma is the name of the guy. Now, I simply don't know if he's guilty or innocent. He could be lying through his teeth, he could be as guilty as the rest of them. And it's obvious that someone attacked this young woman, and someone needs to be held accountable, someone needs to be punished. Because what happened was an absolutely sickening crime. But I want to say that I'm uneasy about some of the lynch mob mentality that has surrounded this case. I think, because it's happened here in the UK as well, that there is a risk with this case that because of media pressure, India, like I say, has a huge problem of violence against women, but there is a risk here that this is becoming a cause célèbre, if that's the right term, for dealing with rapists in India. And the problem with that is, because it's getting so much high profile attention, there's going to be a lack of objectivity, which means potentially a lack of justice. Now, I'm not for a second saying that these men are innocent. I'm not saying that. I don't know. And I accept that they've been through the process, they've had a trial. But police forces around the world have been known to have a quick fix to problems so that the pressure is taken off them. Because Indian police are widely seen as corrupt and inefficient when it comes to dealing with rape cases. They're obviously tired of that reputation, so I wouldn't put it past them to frankly maybe plant some people. It's happened in this country, and when you consider just how much corruption exists in India, you can see it could be very viable. If that is the case, that is absolutely, I believe that's as abhorrent as the crime itself. I've also seen some protesters, Indian protesters, sort of demonstrating with fake nooses and effigies of these men. I find that very disturbing, very macabre, especially when you consider that the death penalty may actually take place. This isn't in a country where the death penalty doesn't exist. India barely carries out the death penalty, but it does occasionally do it. And this is a case where the men have been sentenced to death. There's something very dark about these sort of... and the way I see it is, no matter how strongly people feel about the case, I just can't feel comfortable with that sort of action, like holding effigies of people who may well be executed for real. There's something very sick about that. Now, I'm not insensitive. India is a country with a huge problem, and if someone I knew, if a female friend, my sister, my mother, had been a victim of rape, I'd be outraged as well. I would want to see the perpetrator punished. I'd want to take matters in my own hands, probably. But you cannot have justice based on a lynch mob mentality. You just can't, because that is automatically flawed. And I believe, because of the media sensationalism around this case, there is a risk that there's going to be a quick process. Now, the opposite is just as bad, whereby in India rape trials can languish for up to 10 years, I believe. That's disgraceful. It lets down the victim, and if the accused turns out to be innocent, it also steals 10 years from their life. The other disgrace in India is that so many actual rapists do go unpunished. That is disgraceful. So I can understand the rage in Indian society that so many victims of this terrible crime don't get the justice they deserve. I fully understand that. But there needs to be a pragmatic solution, not a lynch mob solution. And I just think that, I mean, someone responded that, she said, I think she was a British girl actually, she said, oh, the Independent's disgraceful allowing this man to have an interview. Well, I'm sorry, but everyone's allowed an interview. And if he does turn out to be innocent, I think it's entirely understandable that you would want to protest your innocence. Now, like I say, I don't know. He could well be guilty, in which case his lies are disgusting, if that's the case. But we just don't know. And I don't think the Indian justice system is perfect. There's no perfect justice system in the world, which is another reason I believe the death penalty should be abolished, because you can never have an absolute concrete guarantee. You know, just because they have went through a trial does not mean that means they are absolutely 100% guilty, because there have been trials in Britain only for evidence to emerge at a later date. Now, this guy says he was at a party at the time this happened. Sorry, at a music event. They need to look into that. What I would do if I was the judge, I would find evidence to see a guest list at that music event. If he was on the guest list, then his guilt has to be called into question. And if he wasn't, well then... Now, it is obvious that someone raped this girl. There was a gang that done it. They know who they are. They may well be the people who are accused. I just don't know. But I do fear, in this case, if 5 men are executed based on media sensationalism, that is an abomination. If they're executed because they're guilty, that's more just. But I still believe the death penalty is wrong. Rape is abhorrent, but so is state-level killing. It would be a bigger punishment to languish for years in a Delhi jail. And if they're guilty, I believe they deserve that. There does need to be a strong message sent out to some Indian men that rape is not a trivial thing. It's a life-destroying thing. So anyway, that's my thoughts. I just think there needs to be... We need to be careful that this does not become a media... justice by media. And I think there is a risk of that happening. Okay, thank you for watching.